This week in GTA Online, we have two high-performing vehicles that are up for grabs for $0, bringing some distinctive driving experiences to your collection if you guys want to pick them up. And starting off, one of them is going to mimic the BMW X5 style, and it's a vehicle that delivers excellent acceleration as well as good all-terrain proficiency here. I think it's ideal for all sorts of driving in the game, whether you're money grinding, of course, or just playing around with the vehicle itself, just driving around up by Sandy Shores or Paleto Bay, down in the city. It's just overall a nice vehicle to drive. And then the next one is a classic Grand Tour that's inspired by the Ferrari 250 GTO, and this car is going to offer superb acceleration as well as really good high-speed stability, but you need to drive it carefully because it does have a potential for oversteer at those extreme speeds, so you just got to watch out. But today on the show, we're going to explore both of these vehicles' customization options, test their mettle on the track, and also just determine if they're going to be good additions to your garage or not. So thank you so much for tuning in, and let's dive into all the details of these two exceptional rides. So starting off with our first of two vehicles this week, we do have the Ubermacht Rebla GTS, and that is going to be this week's LS Car Meet prize ride. It's a fantastic car you can unlock for $0 just by winning an LS Car Meet series races for 3 consecutive days in a row. The Rebla GTS is going to be normally priced at $1,175,000 from Legendary Motorsport, and it released with the Diamond Casino Heist update, and it's one of GTA Online's fastest SUVs. It has superior acceleration in the game, super good top speed, and overall the Rebla GTS just handles impressively well in my opinion, especially when you consider the fact that it is an SUV and not like a really super planted sports car. And overall you just get a really smooth ride both on paved roads, and if you want to take it off-road, it can handle rugged terrain. Obviously you don't have the ground clearance, but it still performs quite well. It has excellent traction, it takes corners effortlessly, and all of this is going to be further enhanced by the fact that it's all-wheel drive, so it's a nice robust choice for that off-road exploration if you want to take it there. Like I said, it's not really meant for it, but you can do it. And of course, just money grinding, it's super fast on the street. And overall, not only is this car about performance, but you get great customization options, you know, all the normal performance upgrades, but super good aesthetic modifications to transform the look. You can add your bulletproof tires for more durability, and overall, Rockstar modeling this car after the 4th generation BMW X5, I think you get a nice blend of luxury as well as versatility and high performance. In my opinion, it's a highly desirable addition to any garage. You should try and unlock it this week. And here, ladies and gentlemen, is my Ubermacht Rebla GTS, 4th gen BMW X5. I absolutely love this SUV. And in this game, at least in GTA, I kept it basically completely stock. Performance-wise, it's not stock. We have max performance upgrades, braking, turbo, transmission, engine, armor, all of that. But when it comes to the cosmetics and the aesthetics of this car, basically all of it is stock. I adjusted the grille a little bit just to make it black instead of like the silver, because I wanted this thing to look like a nice planted Sith. And actually, I didn't even adjust the suspension. We're rocking no suspension upgrade, so it's going to look a little bit floaty, more so than, you know, maybe you guys have it. Like, you could go one suspension down, just have it like lowered or street or whatever, and it could look okay, but I just wanted it, you know, basically stock normal suspension because I like the way it looks on this vehicle. Because you start to get camber, and I don't want camber on an SUV, and for some reason Rockstar with the suspension upgrades on this car, when you lower it, camber starts immediately as soon as you lower it. So I don't like that, so we're gonna avoid that. Now let's see the time we can get. I'm hoping around my track we could do maybe like 250. I think we can get there. This will definitely be sub 3 minutes unlike the Stinger GT. So let's jump in. 3, 2, 1, go. Off the line. Basically a normal amount of wheel spin, but this thing does hook up very, very fast. And I love the exhaust note on this car. I love the way it handles. Again, stock suspension. I'm gonna have probably a little bit of a worse time turning and maneuvering than someone else who either completely slams his vehicle or just lowers the suspension slightly. But nonetheless, this thing does pick up once you get going. And I feel like as long as I just let off the accelerator around some of these turns, I'll be good to go. I mean, the fact that we're driving this big, heavy SUV and we're able to take turns at this speed, that's very impressive in my opinion. When it comes to any SUV, the fact that you could take turns like that at all, and if you slide into a drift like I just did right there, it's very, very easy. It's nice, like, beginner-friendly drifting SUV, or a beginner-friendly, easy-to-initiate SUV that you could drift. Now, how do I feel about overall maneuverability on this SUV? Again, with the suspension setup I have, I'm pleased with it. I think it's just fine. I do need to apply the brakes a little bit more than I would like sometimes if I really need to slow down to get around a turn, but long sweeping turns in this game, this vehicle is just fine. This very technical section of the track, I think, is where this vehicle is going to struggle for sure. One, because it's a big, heavy SUV. I mean, how much does that BMW weigh IRL? Honestly, I don't even know, but it's like, what, 5,000 pounds, or probably even more, actually. It's heavy. Like, it's a heavy vehicle. But we're able to just throw it around corners. And actually, I saw this video on YouTube. It was really impressive. It was this generation X5. And it was behind an F10 BMW M5. You know, one of the Nürburgring taxis. And I was so, like, this was full sending it too. And I was so impressed by the fact that, like, it was, you could consider it keeping up with that M5. I was like, holy crap, like, this is a super heavy SUV, and it's keeping up with a Nürburgring taxi to a certain extent. I mean, not exactly neck and neck, but the fact that the driver POV was from the X5, and he was still just hanging with the F10 M5, you know, a little bit down the track ahead of him. I was like, wow, that is super, super impressive. Like, you're going so fast in this SUV around that course. I'd be so scared to be in the passenger seat or even in the driver's seat like that. Like, it would be super fun to full send an F10 M5 around there. Or, you know, I was watching this other video. There was the E92 M3 chasing the Nürburgring taxi. And I was... the E92 M3 is my absolute favorite vehicle of all time. I would love to get like a 2011, 2012, 2013 one. I have a 2011 328i right now, besides my Discovery 2. All right, let's see the time. 3 minutes flat. So I think if I didn't crash right there, it would have been sub 3 minutes, but this vehicle is very good performance. I just love it. Got it blacked out. And of course, this is actually how I have my 328 styled as well. Black rims, not these same rims, of course. I want to make something that looks a little bit more like the X5 rims for the 4th gen X5 IRL. But on my car, I did, you know, blacked out kidney grills, obviously black wheels. I would have went with the Forgestar F14s, but they obviously don't fit. If I had an M3, then it would be perfect. But nonetheless, Bilstein B8 shocks, struts, all that. Have it lowered about, it's probably just under 2 inches. It's not completely slammed. It's not like super low racing suspension, but it is a little bit better than stock. And so I definitely appreciate that. But this BMW in this game, ladies and gentlemen, is just unreal. I love it. Listen to that exhaust. Now, next up, the Grotti Stinger GT is going to be normally priced at $875,000 from Legendary Motorsport, and it stands out as a high-performance Grand Tourer in this game, modeled after that classic Ferrari 250 GTO like I was talking about, but you can get it from the Diamond Casino and Resort this week for $0, of course, if you get lucky just by spinning the wheel. And despite this one actually not being a DLC vehicle, funny enough, this is the first podium vehicle since I started this series in June to not be a DLC vehicle, so just keep that in mind. Only one of them is this week. Usually both are DLC cars, but this vehicle is still going to be obtainable for $0 if you get lucky spinning the wheel. And this car isn't going to demonstrate significant performance improvements over the convertible counterpart, which is the standard Stinger, but this car still excels in speed and acceleration. It's a nice competitive option in the sports classics category, and overall this vehicle is still going to allow you to surpass many others in its class. Drivers need to be cautious of that oversteer like I was mentioning at the beginning of today's video, because you can fishtail or power slide if you're trying to take a turn super sharply, so definitely be considerate of that. And the Stinger GT in general maintains really good traction just as long as you're within the reasonable speed limits of this car. If you are, it performs great. If you aren't, well, you may have trouble driving it. Durability is going to be average, braking isn't fantastic, but it's modest and acceptable. You just need to be careful with that as well. Like I said, $0, it's a nice rare opportunity to have like an OG vehicle featured as the podium vehicle this week as opposed to a DLC car. Let's check out this beautiful Grotti Stinger GT. Now, I don't know which one you guys are a fan of more, if it's the Stinger GT, which is the one, of course, you know, the normal coupe, hardtop coupe we have available, or if you guys like the convertible that we have, which is the normal Grotti Stinger. But I like this one a lot. I like the hardtop. It looks great. It's an incredibly long vehicle, and it looks longer in the game than it is IRL, I'm pretty sure. But nonetheless, I'm trying to rock a different kind of paint job today. Saxon blue. I don't think I've ever really used this on a car. And then we have lowrider rims on here. I know, crazy choice, right? But they look very similar to the stock rims. There's just like a little bit more wiring to it, which is closer to the IRL version. So wanted to use that. Exhaust sounds incredible. I always love this exhaust note in the game. Now let's take it to the track, see how it performs. Now, I unfortunately scratched this vehicle while I was driving over here, so ignore that. That's quite a shame, but we're gonna hit the go in just a little bit. Start up my timer. 3, 2, 1, go. Take off. Pretty decent amount of wheel spin off the line, but it does hook up. I guess sooner than I was expecting once I saw the wheel spin. The car's quick. There is just one issue of it, which I've noticed. Oh my god, I'm trying to... Do I have a dead pixel on my monitor? I really hope not. I hope that's just like dust on the screen or something like that. We may have lost half a second of time right there because I let my foot off the gas right there while I was trying to figure out what that is. I just noticed it, but this car is quick. It's not going to be one of the fastest in the game by any means, or even this, you know, faster sports classics vehicles, but it's got that great exhaust note. The handling's fantastic, and that's why I would recommend it, because it goes a perfect speed for how well this vehicle can handle. Turning radius could be a little bit sharper, but what do you expect when you have a vehicle as long as this? I mean, the wheelbase is pretty long too, but the car is just so long in general. There's so much overhang to the front and the rear, but it's fun to drive. I would say though, whenever I'm trying to accelerate up a hill or just go up even a small hill like that in general, the car feels a little bit labored, if that makes sense. Like, oh, that's not good. Crash deformation's good. I think the headlight housing went out. Yeah, it did. Front left headlight, but that's okay. I mean, that's expected. We hit that car so fast, but there's really no like dent or anything, just some scratches. This car does feel a little bit labored when you're trying to accelerate up a hill. That's something you will notice when you're driving this car. I mean, I'm sure many players have already, because this vehicle's around since the launch of the game. And like I was saying in my commentary reviewing the customization, as well as just talking about the performance and stuff like that too. Or I guess I should say, showcasing the customization, reviewing their performance in the post-commentary format. Oh god. It's the fact that this is an OG vehicle, and normally this series, I mean, I have it titled Free DLC Vehicle Unlocks, because usually every week we have 2 free DLC cars. The Diamond Casino Podium vehicle is a DLC car you can get for $0, and then same with the LS Carmi Prize Ride Rockstar, at least since I've been doing the series since June, when I've been paying attention to if these are DLC vehicles or not. That's why I put DLC vehicle in the title, actually. It's always been DLC vehicles every single week, and so this one's the first one, at least since June, that we have an OG car. So that's really interesting. I mean, not that it's rare and removed, you can get off in-game websites, but it's a little bit pricey for what you get, I would say. I don't know if I would recommend you just buy this unless you need a good car to put in your classic sports car garage. Like right now, my Eclipse Penthouse 5 or Eclipse Boulevard Apartment 5 garage is all classic sports cars. So I have the Sterling GT from last week in there. I have this car. My cat actually just walked into the room. I really hope she doesn't go behind the desk. I have so many cables now by these curtains that I have set up to like dampen the noise and everything, and I really hope that she doesn't go behind there again, because yesterday she did, and it's like just stomping all over the cables and everything, and she unplugged a bunch of stuff, and I was like, oh my god, you big bumbly orange cat. So we're coming up on the finish line, lost a few seconds, but a 3-minute 10-second time. You could see kind of on the slow end of what this vehicle is like. It should have been a little bit faster. I would have loved for this to be a sub 3-minute car, but nonetheless, a little bit over. But is it bad? No. Got great performance still, in my opinion. You know, it's not going to win you any races because of how fast it is, but it is nice to just cruise around with an old school Ferrari 250 GTO here in GTA Online. So we are going to be wrapping things up right here. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Check me out over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram if you want to stay up to date daily with GTA Online, as well as Red Dead Online live streams, content, memes, all that type of stuff. All my socials outside of YouTube are where you can get in contact with me as well. So again, thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios, amigos.